Hey guys, welcome to Sippin Spillin with Syd in 3 Mississippi. It's a warm one today. It's beautiful out. We're supposed to have a big storm tonight. I don't know how big a storm, but I know we're supposed to get some weather tonight, some rain. We'll see. Um, I'm gonna head into town here relatively soon, run a couple errands, and then Frankie's coming back from her week-long trip to Florida. So get to go pick up my kiddo. In fact, I'm picking up several kiddos and dropping them since there's no sense in all of us going into town. So I'm going to be depositing kids to various locations. but but yeah, so they're getting in, and I suspect Frankie's going to want to sleep most of tomorrow and do laundry. And I think that's probably about all she's going to want to do. But we'll see. She might surprise me. I doubt it though. She may have. I don't think she slept much on the bus ride home because she's texted me a few times, and I know they had the one van had a little bit of car trouble, nothing serious. They were able to get it back on the road, but it caused them to, kind of have to take a break for lunch at a different time and whatever. But I'm actually wearing my Mother's Day present. One of the things she got me for Mother's Day was this shirt, so quite cute. But this stuff behind me, guys, that's exciting. This is the that poultry netting premier sheep line supplies stuff that we can put up and move for mob grazing later on. But for now, it's going to be for some temporary fencing that we're going to put up to just kind of get her done. So that's exciting, and we'll be able to put some of that up around the garden, I think is his plan too, as well as some areas where the animals are going to be. So he's got, I don't know how, he told me how many feet. I think it's about 300 feet total, or they're 300 feet each. Can't remember. But anyway, he liked this idea because we could reuse it, for different things when we're moving animals. So I think that's going to work out. We'll see. This is the same stuff that we had, if you all remember the video from the fall where we put up some fencing on the one deer plot to kind of A, test it out, and B, to sort of let that clover grow up without it getting completely trampled and chewed on prior to that, because he started it later. So it was able to kind of flourish and do its thing. So new fencing has arrived. We just have to get it put up, which is good. Today is Sunday. We always film these things, not always, generally film these Sippin Spillins a day ahead. Not always though. Mainly because once I render it, I can't do anything on my computer. So it's easier if I kind of cycle it the day before, so I can be editing and doing other things on the computer during the week or during the day. But yeah, kind of not the day that I planned on having. We ended up spending some time with our friends that are going to be going out of town, and hadn't anticipated that. I thought, I'll come home, I'll be able to get my packing done for Freedom Weekend, so I'll be ahead on that. Had a couple things I was going to finish up. None of that has happened. I was going to do some filming. That has not happened. I literally just walked in the door and it's already like 4:30. And we were at church, and then we went straight to, so we've been gone all day. But it's fine. I can roll with that. Tomorrow, I literally only have my big editing project, you guys. I want you to really keep a good thought for me this week as I work on this project. I'm not going to lie, I have been putting it off a tad. And initially, and I'll tell you what it is in a minute, initially this video was going to be for the end of this month. But I think what I'm going to do instead is bump it up by a few weeks and put it out on this Friday. However, that may not happen because I also have not discussed this with Mike, and sometimes he chimes in and is like, no, we're going to do this. So that may be the case. But my game plan, as it stands right now, is to have that video come out Friday, which is the big year in review video. That's going to be our journey so far, our things we've built, our, the progress we've made from since we made the decision to getting here, and what that looks like. Because I know we were very lucky in that we made friends right away and found a church that we really loved right away. And all of these things kind of fell into place for us right away. And I know that's not normal, but we're very grateful for it. And we did not anticipate that happening at all. If you'd asked me a year ago if I thought that I would be in the position I am as far as knowing people and having friends in the community, I would have said, "Are you sure about that? That's crazy." Like, I don't think that's gonna, like, I think maybe I thought by maybe the year mark I would just be starting to meet some people that maybe I would make some friends. But we've just been very lucky in that sense. And so, but there's also been some challenges as far as, like, the issue with the garden and the natural spring that we didn't know was there, and having to redo that. That was more, oh, hi, Wasp. Let's not be friends. And having that, hello, I see it on the camera. I'm not a fan. Oh, guys, I don't like the wasps. That one's lost because they don't usually come back here now that I've painted the ceiling. Now it's over at my kitchen window. Well, maybe it'll leave me alone. Maybe it won't. We'll see. If I get up again, my apologies. But homie's not playing with the wasps all up in my stuff. So Mike said he got chased by some wasps yesterday because he, I'm watching you. I'm watching you. Now it's on my citronella. Really? Okay. I'm just gonna talk to you from over here for a second while that wasp figures out its life. This is real life, guys. We're just gonna migrate just a hair. So we're just gonna roll with it. We're gonna stand up, and that's still not tall enough. We're gonna come stand over here. See, I just not a fan there of the wasp in my face, but there we go. That's better. My apologies, but I didn't feel like getting chewed on. So this way you guys might be able to see some more hummingbirds, because they are zipping around me right now. We'll see. I'll turn it a little bit more. Maybe you'll see some of them. Hopefully the lighting isn't too terrible right now. But totally have lost my train of thought, by the way. So my apologies for the hamster falling off the wheel. But we've got, Freedom Weekend coming up. We leave on Friday. I'm excited for that. We got somebody, of course, coming to stay and take care of everything while we're gone. And so hopefully that goes smoothly. I was kind of even contemplating processing the chickens out before we leave, but they're just not there yet. Like, I really, really solidly feel they need more time. There's maybe like one or two that, yeah, I could comfortably do and be okay with processing them out at the weight they're at. But there's also a couple that some of the hens that are a lot smaller, which there's always a few in every batch, but and my weak ones always manage to survive. I don't know why. Usually the weaker ones, the smaller ones that, they would die off, or they wouldn't make it past a certain point, but mine always seem to do well. I did have one this morning that it did get very hot yesterday, so that may have contributed to it. It was one of the larger ones, and he did not make it. There was nothing attacked it, nothing like that. I think it's one of those ones where it got too hot and it was on the bigger side, and it just didn't agree with it, because they're not heat tolerant. These Cornish cross meat chickens they don't do well in extreme heat. So it's one of those things where I'm like, well, if I process them out now, I'm gonna have really small birds. Next year, I've learned I'm gonna start them earlier. I'm gonna get a head start on that and not wait as long. I'm not gonna worry about brooding them a little bit longer through the frosts and all that, waiting to get them out there. I think I'm gonna kind of chance it in that sense. Not so much chance it, but I think now that I've kind of seen the weather patterns a little bit more for myself, I think I can gauge it. So I think I'll bump them up by about a month, which would mean they would all be processed by now, because I think they need I'd say probably another 2 weeks. But they're doing well out on the pasture. I had Mike help me yesterday spin it around because we were going down the hill and I had to move it sideways at one point because I got into there was like a little gully and I had gotten into that and I couldn't pull it anymore because I've been moving it by myself, and it doesn't have wheels on it because, well, they didn't get finished. So we'll be real honest. The wheels didn't get put on. So I've just been kind of dragging it with a dolly back and then moving their food and water and then dragging it and then moving their food and water and dragging it until I've got them to a whole new patch. And I do that every morning when I feed. Well, yesterday I told him, I was like, hey, FYI, I've got one more day worth of moving them before I'm in the tree line and I'm up against the fence. So I need your help to spin it because I can't do that by myself without really getting frustrated. So he came out and helped me spin it. And then now I got to start pulling them back up the hill. So I figure by the time they get to the top of the hill, it'll be processing time. So about another week and a half to 2 weeks, and they'll be, so probably, honestly, probably after Freedom Weekend, the weekend after. So what is that, the 8th and 9th or something? It's probably going to be bird processing time. So hopefully I will be satisfied with their live weight and size then, and I can say, all right, let's go at least, and I might let some of them go a little longer. Some of the smaller hens, I might let them go a couple more weeks and do the boys, the bigger roos, and just get them out of there. Because, with the bigger roos, the bigger they get, you run the risk of, they can't hold their weight on their legs and they could have heart attacks. But one of the advantages, of course, to pasturing them is that they are more mobile. They're not just penned up, sitting there with their beak in feed, and it does make them a little bit, it takes them longer to fatten up, which I know. But I do feel like this batch is taking particularly longer than I would like, mainly because I really was thinking initially like I'd have them done before we leave for this trip, but that's just not realistic, and that's okay. I'm going to roll with it. It's fine. And then my ducklings, they're getting bigger. They're not feathered out or anything yet, but they've been off heat. It's been plenty warm. They've been off heat for quite a while because I got them the first week of June. So here we are at the last week of June. So they're like 3.5 weeks old right now. So I'm debating about, I probably will move them out of the brooder before we leave for Freedom Weekend, but I'm not 100% sure because I like to really monitor them when I add birds outside, and I have kind of like a routine that I like to do with them, and I don't want to miss that, and I also don't want to move them like today. Like, it's, to me, today is too soon. Ideally, I feel like I would want to move them Friday, but I will be leaving Friday. So I may just wait until, Monday when we get back and move them. But then the person house sitting has to kind of deal with them in there, and that's kind of a pain for them. But I got to do what's best for the birds at the end of the day. That's life. So, and it's not like they're a big pain. You really just got to, fix their bedding and feed and water, and they're fine. So they're pretty low maintenance. And the only thing I'm worried about is it's easy to forget about them because they are so quiet. Muscovy ducklings are so quiet that you just don't even know you have them. Like, you could forget that they're in there if you don't remember that they're in there. It's not like with the chicks. When the baby chicks are in there, you hear them when you're in the mudroom. But like these guys, not a peep. So you would have no idea. But it's all good. It's all good. It's fine. So I am looking forward to getting that fencing done. I think when we get back from Freedom Weekend, by that following weekend, I think we're also going to be between finishing that over the week and being able to, I think by the following week, we'll be able to get the goats and everything over here, which will be exciting. So fingers crossed that will happen in the next couple weeks. I am hopeful that you might keep asking me, well, when do you want the goats here by? And I was like, 6 months ago, but get them for me, get this fencing done so I can get them here, So we'll see. We'll see how fast that goes. Right now, he's just really preoccupied with his garden. That is kind of his go-to priority. So all the other projects kind of get partially done and on hold until that part's done. And so the next couple weeks are going to be really kind of dedicated to the gardening and, what he's doing with that. And, the sun this time of year sets really late, especially out here. It sets even later than where we were, I feel like. And maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like it does. And so it's been a little bit of a struggle as far as like, Mike wants to stay outside until, 9:30 at night doing stuff, and because it's cooler, and it's light out for so much longer. And then so we're not really having dinner as a family because of that. And then he even brought that up today, and I'm like, well, if I have dinner ready, then we still can't eat together, and I'm not going to wait till 10 o'clock to eat dinner. I want to be in bed because I have to get up early to take care of my animals. And he doesn't have to be up early to take care of his garden. He does that in the evenings. So our schedules are opposite when it comes to that stuff. And he forgets that, oh yeah, the animals have to be taken care of in the morning. Like, he doesn't think about that. And yes, I could get them on an evening schedule. It's not ideal for the birds just because I don't want to have the food out there at night when they're trying to go up to bed. I don't want to put their food in their coop. The run is not fully enclosed on the top, so that's just not ideal. So it is what it is this time of year. I have dinner ready. It's up to him when he chooses to go eat it. But there's only so much I can do about, when he chooses to do his outside stuff in the garden and whatever. So, but that's all right. It is what it is. And he'll have nice veggies and tomatoes and all that out there coming soon. We just posted that garden update video, and he gets very excited about it. Very, very excited about his garden. He loves it. He's like a kid in I'd say candy store, but he's like a kid in a vegetable garden, I guess, because that's what his jam is. So he gets very worked up, very worked up about his vegetables and his fruits. But I know that he's hoping that the following week he will be able to load up and go to the farmer's market for the first time as a seller. So we'll see if that happens for him. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know if he'll have enough ready that first week when we get back to do it. He thinks he will. I'm not sure, but that's a whole week away, and things do come ripe quickly sometimes. But I know he's pretty determined. So even if he's got like a smaller, I guess, harvest of something, I think he may still go and just set up his little booth just to do it, just to get the experience and get his face out there and start meeting some of those people, so he can say, well, this is what I'll have next week and whatever, which will probably be a good idea for him. So, but that's it. That's what's happening this last couple days. I am thinking I'm going to go ahead and work on that year review video and get that out for Friday. However, that may not happen because part of me did want to wait to close it out with having the goats here finally and having that animal section done. So I'm kind of on the fence about if I'm going to push that video for Friday or not, because I really wanted to close it out with that. And to me, I feel like it's not complete until I have that portion. But we'll see. And then I think Sunday's video may be a little bit of us at Freedom Weekend. I might bring my laptop and edit something together and from Friday and Saturday to post for Sunday. But we'll see. Again, I haven't talked to Mike about that yet. Haven't had a chance to. He has been garden on the brain. So have to wait for when he's ready for a conversation about something else. then I can interject that. So we'll see what he says. But yeah, if not, I'm gonna have to get some things done fencing wise. Maybe that'll push him to get some of the fencing done a little bit sooner so that we can get that video done for finishing up the fence. But we'll see. So anyway, guys, I better get going because I'm gonna have to scoot into town here pretty soon, and it is a warm one. I gotta refill my water. So hope you guys are having a blessed beginning of your week, and until next time, safety sauce.